The modern food truck is less sandwich van and more mobile restaurant with a fully equipped commercial kitchen inside. They're often created from standard production panel vans, which are then modified. Additions include the service window on the side, but also the suspension system often needs reinforcing, as well as the floors and walls to support the weight of the kitchen and all those burgers. To lighten the load, the kitchen's structural components are made of aluminium. Once the pieces have been cut, they're welded together. This particular structure will support a stainless steel countertop, which is cut from thick sheets of stainless steel. The sheets are bent as required, using a machine called a press brake. For this countertop, a 90-degree angle is required for the front end to form a 4 cm square edge. To construct walls and ceilings, thin sheets of stainless steel or aluminium are riveted to structural wooden panels, or in the cooking area, fire-retardant plywood. The boards are installed over styrofoam insulation. The truck's aluminium floor may be left intact or covered in non-slip textured aluminium or vinyl. Once the wall, ceiling and flooring are complete, the kitchen's custom-made components, such as the cabinets and counters, are installed. Supports for the counters are screwed to the wooden wall panels, before the countertop is fastened to it with rivets. The stainless steel's protective film can now be removed. Next, the major appliances are installed. In this case, a fridge freezer. Next, the electrical box and wiring is installed to connect all of the outlets, including the lighting, water heater, water pump, and the air conditioning system. Next to the electrical box sits the power transfer box. It contains a switch which enables the truck to run off an outdoor power hookup when one is available, rather than the onboard generator. The switches for the interior and exterior lighting are positioned just beneath the electrical box. The next installations include the light fixtures, the cabinets, the sink and plumbing, and the all-important serving window. Gas lines are also installed to power the commercial cooking equipment. This truck has several gas appliances: a 6-burner gas range with large ovens, a deep fryer, a charcoal grill, and a flat-top cooking surface. The kitchen is also equipped with a ventilation hood over the cooking area. Its powerful fan draws up any fumes and exhausts them through a vent mounted on top of the truck. With the interior complete, it's time to work on the exterior. Some food trucks are painted, but more often than not, the graphics are printed onto a vinyl wrap. After positioning each panel of the design, heat is applied with a torch to remove any trapped air and allow the vinyl to be stretched taut over rivets and other protrusions. Before long, this mobile eatery is ready to roll, with a kitchen that conforms to fire code and food service regulations. While it may not provide the ambience of a sit-down restaurant, at least you won't need a reservation. So there you go. I wonder if they're open. I'll have a bacon butty, please. Brown sauce, fried bread. Rope has been made from plant fibres since the Egyptian times. And even though stronger synthetic alternatives are now available, it doesn't mean there's no money in old rope. These traditional fibre ropes have their own unique qualities, and that's probably why we still have such strong ties with them. Made from woven manila, sisal or flax fibres, traditional ropes are easier to grip and stretch less than synthetics. So, let's find out how it's made. Come on, I'll show you the ropes. At this deep and narrow building at a historic British dockyard, they've been twisting fibres into rope for more than 2 centuries. The traditional process starts with racks of natural fibre yarns. These are funneled through separators that configure them so that they can twist together evenly. The fibres then travel through tubes that squeeze them into bundles. The ends of the bundles are tied onto the hooks of a wheeled vehicle called the forming machine. The machine is rolled back until there's no slack in the bundles. The machine is then winched the entire 350-metre length of the building. As the machine travels backwards, its gears turn the hooks, twisting the yarns into a tight configuration. The formation of the twists distributes the tension evenly, which will give the rope its strength. The long indoor space is called a rope walk, and there aren't many of these left in the world today. Partway down the rope walk, a trestle is placed beneath the twisting yarns to keep them off the floor and prevent tangling. When the machine reaches the back wall, it stops, and the strands are cut. Tension is maintained on the line to prevent the twists from unravelling, and they're then secured to a post. The twisted fibres now stretch from one end of the building to the other. On one side of the rope walk, 3 of the strands are tied to a hook on a different machine, which will transform them into rope. The next part of the process requires a cart that holds a piece of grooved wood known as a top. The twisted strands are then tucked into the grooves of the top. The cart is then rolled to face the rope-making machine. A rope is tied around the strands and the top. This holds them in place as the rope-making machine now twists the 3 strands into one. The cart rolls along rails, propelled by the twisting action, and leaves newly formed rope in its wake. The rope machine with the twisting hooks, however, remains in place. When the cart arrives at the opposite side of the building, the rope forming is complete and the ties around the top can be removed. The newly formed rope is 220 metres long and very thick, up to 12.5 centimetres in diameter. Both ends are sliced, allowing the ends to fall to the floor. It's now wound onto a spool, which coils it tightly. This traditional rope is almost ready to be dispatched to the client. But first, looped ends must be created to allow the customer to secure the rope with a shackle. To achieve this, the rope maker unravels the ends. Further down, the rope is pierced with a hollow tool called a fid. This creates a loop, which the unravelled strands are pushed through. These are woven into the rope to create a spliced loop that's stronger than a knot. Finally, a section of the rope is tested using hydraulic jaws, which pull it apart until it breaks. The rope has to withstand 50 tons of force in order to be fit for use. The test confirmed that this rope has the strength required to pull its weight, and some. And that, folks, is the end of how it's made, and indeed, the end of the line.